It's 2022, so Happy New Year. And with a new year comes a new color of the year. Color of the year? What is that? And if you're thinking about it in terms of real estate, what does that mean and why should you care? The 2022 color of the year and how it relates to real estate, how it relates to your home, and if you want to sell your home. That's what we're talking about today, and we're starting right now.
I'm Sherri Green with Coldwell Banker. Welcome to my YouTube channel that guides home sellers and home buyers in Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia.
We have just jumped into 2022. It's a brand new year, and along with that comes the color of the year. What is the color of the year and why should you care? How does the color of the year relate to home ownership? And gosh, even further than that, how does it relate to real estate? If you want to sell your house, you may want to think about how to or not to use the color of the year, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So with a new year, new ideas, new resolutions, change, how do we get through the winter? It's certainly been a wild one so far. There are things that we think about when we think of a new year. How do we make changes? How do we make this year better than last year? And how do we update our spaces? We have certainly spent a lot of time in our space, in our home, in the last 2 years, and it may be time for you to think about a refresh. When you're stuck inside and it's sleeting rain outside, like it is here today in Washington, D.C., you may be up for a project. You may be up for painting or redecorating. And how can that color of the year help you? Well, the answer is different depending on how long you want to stay in your home. So if you plan to stay in your home forever, take the color of the year and paint it everywhere. If you're going to stay in your house forever, it doesn't really matter. It's your home. Make it your home. However, if you're going to sell your house in 2022, you might want to take a little more cautious, a little more conservative approach to using that color of the year. Can you still use it? Oh, I think you can. But let's make sure that you use it in a way that makes sense, that we use it in a way that buyers are still going to love, appreciate, and most importantly, want to buy your house. So every year, Pantone sets a color of the year. So the first question you may be asking before what's the color of the year is, who is Pantone? Pantone is the company that sets the universal language for color. So let's think about it like this. Brands have a logo and they have a color palette. Even I have a brand and I have a color palette. That color palette, as you use it when you're a company, you want it to be the same in every iteration that you use it, whether it's digital or print or this magazine ad or this flyer that you hand out to your customers. You want that color to be universal. So Pantone sets a code for each color that you can dream up. So they are the color people. So naturally, they select a color of the year every year. Now, paint companies also set a color of the year, and we're going to talk about their choice or one of their choices today too. And sometimes I'm guessing that these colors of the year, especially when it comes from a paint company or a home store company, is certainly a marketing idea, right? It's an idea to get you excited about projects and to get you thinking about buying their product specifically. But it's also a neat idea in that it sets sort of the tone of the year. They use it to set a barometer for where we've come from and maybe where we're going and how we may be feeling, the sentiments we may be having around our home, around the idea of color. So let's start with Pantone's color of the year, which is called Very Perry, which is a very fun name for sure. And periwinkle is what they're getting at. It's a purpley gray hue. It is certainly interesting. It is certainly different this year. Very Perry is Pantone's choice for color of the year. So Very Perry, it's certainly a fun name, and I think it'd be interesting for you to know how Pantone talks about the color of the year. And this is what they say. It's courageous. Its presence encourages personal inventiveness and creativity. It's a little lofty, but certainly the fun purple hue is a little more lighthearted. It is definitely more creative. It's also a little flirty and it's a little feminine. So the question becomes, how do you use Very Peri? Painting your whole house purple could be a little much. I'm sure there is someone who has and someone who loves it. I've talked about purple bathrooms before, and they can be fun and interesting. And Very Peri is certainly a color that I think you could use sparingly in your house, even if you're going to sell it. Powder rooms, half baths, are a great place to play with color and pattern and texture and wallpaper. A Very Peri powder room could be a really cool way to use the hue. The other way is an accent wall. You could paint one wall behind your bed this Very Peri color. It would be something you could easily paint back as you move out and hand the keys to your new buyer. The safer way to use it may be in accessories. Flowers, pillows, throws, objects that you place around, different vases with flowers and different things that draw the eye to the color but don't overwhelm the space. If you're going to stay in your house forever, certainly go wild. Paint a bathroom Very Peri, paint your bedroom Very Peri, a child's room Very Peri. But if you're going to stay in your house for only a little bit of time this year and you do plan to sell it, remember that buyers still love neutrals. So I mentioned at the beginning that there are paint companies that also set colors of the year, and Sherwin is one of those companies that does that. Their color this year is radically different from Very Peri, and it is called Evergreen Fog. It's this green, gray color, grayish green, sagey green. It's a really pretty tone. It's actually a tone that would go nicely with a lot of neutrals in your house if you do plan to sell. It is a little more muted than the Very Peri. The good news about this color, Evergreen Fog, is that it is more of a neutral. Very Peri is purple, and people will read it as purple. But an Evergreen Fog powder room wouldn't be as in your face, let's say, as a Very Peri powder room. I don't think I would go crazy painting my house Evergreen Fog. I might use it in an office. I might use it in a powder room. I might use it sparingly. It also would be a great accent color for throws and pillows and things of that nature that you're going to pack up and take to your new home with you. I do like how the blogger, probably this, has used the color in a bathroom as an accent. They've painted just the very top of the wall in this beautiful Evergreen Fog shade. It's a nice way to use the color without overwhelming the entire room. So how would you use these colors of the year? Very Peri, Evergreen Fog, which one's your favorite? Would you use one in your home? Would you go wild or use it sparingly? I'd love for you to tell me in the comments. And if you're new to my channel or you just haven't done it yet, don't forget to subscribe. I post new videos every week, and I'd love to have you come along.